So let's take a look at number 22. The first part is multiple choice. So just given what you have here, the first part's quadratic, the second part is absolute value. So the quadratic is going to be a parabola, the absolute value is going to be a v. So you can actually tell which one is the right answer without having to do anything based on just the absolute value part. The quadratic part, you're going to know how to graph that. So you can certainly put that in a graphing calculator and see which one it matches up with. However, for the absolute value part, the first thing I notice is what's the vertex? Because that +4 on the inside, that's telling you that the x-coordinate of the vertex is at -4. And then that +4 on the outside is telling you that the y-coordinate of the vertex is at 4. So, and this is just for the absolute value part. So if the absolute value is, if the vertex of the absolute value function is at -4, 4, can't be that one. Can't be that one, right? It's either got to be B or D. The only difference, so the vertex is in the right spot for both those. The only difference is one's opening up, one's opening down. Well, because there's no negative in front, it's going to open up. So it's got to be B. D is opening down, so it can't be that. All right, so B is your answer there. And then the question is, where are they intersecting? So it says round the nearest tenth. You can't just eyeball this. You got to use something to help you get that answer. So we're going to use a graphing calculator. By the way, you have access to a similar like graphing calculator emulator on your Chromebook. Also, if you have your own like handheld graphing calculator, that's great. Or there's a you can go to Desmos, whatever. But I'm going to use this, so that way you can see what I'm doing with my graphing calculator. So what we're going to do is we're going to graph those two functions. So let's just clear out what's in here. So the first one is x squared plus 2x minus 13. And then the other one is absolute value of x plus 4. And then plus 4. All right, when I go to graph this, what it's doing is it's showing me the two functions, right? It's going to be it's intersecting at two places. Only one you can see right now. One's right here. The other one's up here somewhere. So we'll have to do some. We'll have to zoom out, and zoom in, whatever, to be able to see that. But for right now, let's figure out what the intersection point is here. Use the calculator to tell you exactly where it is, and then we can just round it to get it, what the question's asking us to do. So I'm going to hit second calc. The fifth thing down is intersect. So this is a function that the calculator can tell you precisely where these two curves are intersecting. So when it says first curve question mark, the cursor is on the first curve, the parabola. What we're going to do right now, see where it says x is 0, it's down here somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to move it over to where we can see it. We're going to have to tap this a couple times. And we're going to try to get it as close as we can to where it's intersecting with the other. Doesn't have to be exact, just close enough. Then we'll hit enter. Now the cursor's on the other curve. I can move it around if I want, but it's where I want it. So I'm just going to hit enter there. I guess I'm just going to hit enter. And that's giving us the intersection point, -5.4. Right? And again, it's asking to round to the nearest tenth. So let's go type that in so we don't forget it. So -5.4. And now we're just going to do the same thing for the other intersection point. It's off the graph. So what we're going to have to do is zoom out. I'm going to move, when you hit zoom in or zoom out, what it does is it brings the cursor back to the screen, and you can move it anywhere you want. So I'm going to move it over closer to where I want to actually zoom out, right? Because where it's intersecting is happening somewhere up here. So I'm going to try to move this cursor up to, like, it doesn't be exact, but that's close enough. So let's zoom out at that point. You can see it a little better now. Now I'm going to do the same function, second, calc, intersect. We're going to move the cursor over to where I need it to be. I'm going to hit enter there. Again, I'm trying to get this intersection point now. We already have this one. I'm trying to get this one. Hit enter again on the second curve. Guess, ignore that. And the answer is 4.1. All right, so let's type that in. All right, answer, we got it. Okay, so again, the key is you got to use your graphing calculator here to figure out where it's intersecting, round where it's telling you to round to. Let me know if you have any other questions.